Thank you. As any survivor here knows, the day that you hear the words you have cancer, your life becomes a three-ring circus. I joined the circus September 9th, 2010, when I was diagnosed with inflammatory breast cancer at the age of 28, just 1 month after the birth of my third little girl. I went through 6 months of chemotherapy, a bilateral mastectomy, 6 weeks of daily radiation, and several other different treatments along the way. And as I stand here today, I am cancer-free. It would have been easy for me to sit back and assume that my role in the circus of cancer was that of the freak show, and there were certainly times that I felt like it was. But I decided to be a ringmaster for my circus. Being the ringmaster means that you get to choose your own acts, and for any circus to be a success, you want to choose only the best acts. In Ring 1, it's your medical team. The medical team, of course, is extremely important, but the most important part of that team is the acrobat. The acrobat is your caretaker. They do all of your juggling, your appointments, schedules, medications, treatments. They make sure that you eat, that you rest, and that you get where you need to be. They take all the information that's thrown at you and they make sense of it. I remember the very first time they sat down and told me what medications I would need. Before, during, and after each round of chemo, I was completely overwhelmed. And so was my caregiver, my husband. But he picked up everything and started juggling, and he did an incredible job, and he never dropped a single thing. On top of that, the acrobats also do all of your entertaining. You sit in a chemo chair for many, many hours, and then you go home and you sit for even longer. And during that time, they also entertain you. The next act in this ring is the lion tamers. They are your doctors, your oncologists, surgeons, primary cares, who tame the beast of cancer. They keep up to date on the latest techniques and treatments. Followed right behind them are the tightrope walkers, the nurses. They keep you and your doctors in line. They help you balance and manage your side effects, your treatment schedules, your medications. They see that all of your questions are answered. Finally in this ring are the contortionists. They are the ones that are your physical therapists, lymphedema specialists, and other post-cancer specialists that help you get life back to normal. I recently started working at the MU Department of Physical Therapy, and the first thing that most of the faculty members asked when they found out what I had been through was if I could do this and this and this. So I started working on my exercises really fast because it was pretty obvious that if I didn't, they were going to make me anyway. Now, the second ring is your emotional support team, and in this ring, the most important acts are the clowns. They're the people who make you laugh. They are the people who, despite being sick and in pain, they make you smile and want to get out of bed every day. My clowns were my 3 little girls and my husband. The second act in this ring is the crowd. Your coworkers, your family, your church. Mine was incredible. My church, one day I walked in and they were completely, every single person from the babies in the nursery to the teen boys to the little old ladies were all dressed with pink and white breast cancer bandanas on their head. Our preacher even preached with it on his head the entire time. So my crowd found big ways to help me out. You can just take that one away. Thanks. One day, so the final act in your emotional team are the concessioners. They help support and fund the circus. They do a lot of things to do this, except, you know, instead of selling us popcorn and candy and flashing toys, they're giving us wigs and teaching us how to wear makeup so that even on our ugliest days, we look beautiful. I have to confess, they worked really hard to find a wig that would work well for me at my age, but the only time I wore that was actually on Halloween for part of my costume because I kind of decided I could rock the bald look. On top of that, though, they don't just keep us looking good. They do lots of things like raise money for research. They put on sideshows like the Relay for Life that we're at tonight. It's because of the funds that they do that are the reason that I'm here today. Inflammatory breast cancer, 4 to 5 years ago, most people didn't survive. But because of the funds that they raise and groups like them, there's constantly new drugs, and it's those drugs that are the reason I'm here today. The final ring is the ring full of our fellow survivors. It consists of 2 acts. First are the trapeze artists. The survivors who passed on and went before us, who soar with grace and beauty, who are full of courage and audacity and inspire the rest of us to keep flying despite our fears. The second act in this last ring are the carnies, our fellow survivors who are still fighting with us every day. Those that know being cancer-free doesn't mean that we aren't still worried about the dangers lurking in the shadows behind the big tent. Carny people have their own language, and when I was asked to do this, I started researching circus and carnivals, and I found out that when a carnival person would get in a little bit of trouble with a local, they'd yell, "Hey Ruby!" and it was a sign for all the other carny folk to come and help in the fight. As survivors, we may not always look the greatest, and we certainly don't fit in with the rest of the world. We have our own language and our own community, and when one of us yells, "Hey Ruby!" we all come and help each other fight. Nobody knows how to work as hard and fight as hard as a survivor does, but nobody knows how to throw a party and celebrate like a survivor does. When I first joined the circus, I had no idea what I was in for, and I wasn't really sure I wanted to be a part of this show called Cancer. I could have chosen to be a freak show and wallow in my own self-pity and maybe just sit around and wait to die, but instead I chose to be a ringmaster. I chose my acts for my circus, and we put on the show of our lives. Friends, just because you or a loved one has heard the words that you have cancer, it doesn't mean that life is over. Instead, surround yourselves with class acts and put on the greatest show on earth. Thank you.
Woohoo, Rain! I think she owes us a dance, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch me trip and fall in front of everyone. I'll take it.